Welcome to Garden Plants with Jim Putnam. Let's talk Florida Sunshine Illicium. Florida Sunshine Illicium is a broadleaf evergreen shrub. I'm shooting this in the middle of December with beautiful chartreuse colored foliage. And one of the reasons I'm shooting this in December is actually as we go into fall, it actually gets quite a bit brighter, and the stems on this plant actually get very, very red in the fall and winter time. Beautiful 12 months out of the year, but especially this time of year. So one of the main reasons I wanted to show it off. This is a much smaller growing Illicium parviflorum. Maybe reach 6-7 feet in height, 3 to 4 feet in width. Can be kept kind of any size that you want to keep it, really, but the chartreuse coloration definitely keeps this one on the smaller side. So this is a flowering shrub, but the flowers are pretty insignificant. It's mainly grown for this 12-month chartreuse color presentation, and also it's extremely fragrant foliage. If you break one of these leaves, it has this almost licorice type scent. You don't even have to break the leaves. On a warmer afternoon here in December, I can actually smell it just being this close to it. These are hardy in zone 6B to 9. Probably in 6B, you wouldn't want to put it out by a mailbox in a lot of open, windy situations. But in a protected spot, no problem at all. Part shade is definitely the way to go with this plant. In the deep shade, it gets a little thin and wispy. In the full sun, the leaves can scorch a bit, which is true with a lot of gold plants like this. So part shade is kind of ideal. You need some direct sun on it, but you don't want 15 hours in June because, like I say, it will scorch. So there are a lot of different uses for a part shade gold plant like this. I like to see this plant used in front of other screening plants in shady spaces. If you give something green behind it, the gold stands out even more. It really brightens up any kind of darkish spot. This spot toward the back of my garden here, it really stands out from, the porches all the way across the yard. And it just, it's brighter than anything else in the entire landscape. Can be used as a container plant, probably not a great container plant. Definitely not in zone 6 or 7, but in 8 or 9, you could use it as a container plant for a season or two. And then, like I say, just one of a kind anywhere. It can be pruned into kind of a pyramidal shape. By keeping the edges a little bit narrow, so you can just get a tall, narrow thing for a corner of a part shade foundation space as well. One thing I'll say about Florida Sunshine Illicium is it is not very drought tolerant, and most Illicium just aren't. I've got 2 other varieties in the landscape, and these do tend to wilt when it's dry. So if you have an area that is a little more moist, not wet, but stays a little more moist, that may be an ideal location for your Illicium. I do just kind of keep an eye on this plant. Sometimes in the late afternoon, it'll be just kind of laid over like this. So site selection is kind of important for that reason. It will need some ongoing watering. Do keep it well mulched and keep the weeds away from it. That will probably help keep it more evenly moist. Not a lot of maintenance to do on this plant, really. If you might get a crazy limb here or there that can be cut kind of whatever time of year you want to cut it. If you need to do any general pruning on it, that's probably best done in the early to mid-spring or even early summer. And let it fill back in so that in the wintertime it has this late season growth on it, which gives you the red stems and the gold foliage. Can be fertilized in the late winter. This plant's virtually deer proof. These kind of fragrant, pungent plants like this are great if you have deer problems. Things with fragrant flowers and fragrant foliage tend to be your friends if you do have that as an issue, and really aren't any other pest problems. I love this plant. It's just an easy pop of color in any landscape. But Florida Sunshine Illicium. Thanks for watching.